Welcome back. From the Nigeria Bar Association Ikeja branch held an event recently in Lagos. Professor Akin Oyebode, a professor of international law and jurisprudence, was the keynote speaker, and the paper was on securing the independence of INEC, a panacea to a free, fair and credible election in Nigeria. And it couldn't have come at a better time than now, when the political parties are again on the field, wooing the electorate. Take a look.
It's a gathering of lawyers, social activists, traditional rulers and more for the 15th Chief Gani Fawehinmi annual lecture organized by the Nigerian Bar Association Ikeja branch. The theme of the lecture is Securing the Independence of INEC, a panacea for a free, fair and credible election. And the chairman organizing committee of the event gives a reason for choosing it.
When our committee was choosing to midwife this year's annual lecture, we quickly remembered that we are holding our general election this year, and we were compelled to look towards that direction in the choice of our topic. You and I are aware of the role played by late Gani Fawehinmi in the development of our political space, especially when INEC refused to register some political parties in Nigeria. He was the one who pursued the matter in the judiciary to a logical conclusion and got a reprieve that opened the space for other parties. And for that singular act, most of these not too young to run have found homes, in some of them to emerge as presidential candidates. Having a free and fair election is the bedrock for our true democracy. We must insist on it, and we must pursue it and ensure that this character of independence of institutions is entrenched in our political system.
The NBA chairman Ikeja branch, Mr. Dele Oloke, stated the invaluable contribution of late Gani Fawehinmi to the legal body and Nigeria at large.
Abdulganiyu Oyeshola Fawehinmi, SAN, was a mentor, one of the best courtroom advocates ever produced by Nigeria, a legal researcher, a human encyclopedia of law, a committed barman of awesome legal authorities. And I say this because Chief Fawehinmi can make submissions of 1,000 words in 1 second. I have witnessed it in court before Muslim Wakweagbe retired. An activist with unparalleled credentials of genuine activism in Nigeria, a defender of the downtrodden, which earned him the award of Senior Advocate of the Masses, SAM, and a protector of rule of law, whose instrument of war is not AK-47, but the court of law.
For the chairman of the occasion, the late Gani's impact is immeasurable.
One thing that he displayed all the time was that there's no substitute for hard work. And that to be a good lawyer, you must invest in scholarship. Chief Gani Fawehinmi came to court and cited cases from everywhere to support a point of law he was pursuing. He also taught me something, that if you search hard enough, you find solutions to all the problems in the law books. Which is why all his fights were in the courtroom. Whatever issue he felt unhappy with, he went to court to fight it. Because he believed that the law has solutions to everything.
Professor Akin Oyebode, who gives the lecture on the theme, urges the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, not to compromise in delivering its responsibilities during the forthcoming elections.
For as long as democracy entails equality of access to political competition, there remains a felt need for an independent body to ensure a level playing field, fairness and equity among competing rivals. If this was not the case, then the entire exercise becomes a charade and predetermined game of musical chairs, where the winner is more often than not predictable. Although in modern times, opinion polls, exit polls, and social research tools have made political forecasts less precarious, they are not altogether foolproof.
The special guest of honor highlights some electoral issues and promises that INEC is ready to ensure a free, fair and credible election.
In 2019, I want to say here that INEC, by virtue of the power conferred on it in the Electoral Act, that is not in breach of the substantive law contained in the Constitution, we will do what we need to do to give meaning and purpose to the ballot. Because if vote do not count, people will lose faith in democracy. If vote do not count, then of course the instrumental benefits derivable by the electorate as a basis for embracing democracy will not be available to them.
It's almost a decade since the passing of the legal luminary Gani Fawehinmi, but the theme to commemorate him is apt as the 2019 general election draws closer.
And we move to the top trending stories from the courtrooms this week.
We begin with the report that the Code of Conduct Bureau has formally served court summons on the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, as directed by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. On Monday, January the 14th, the lead counsel to the CJN, Wole Olanipekun, had challenged the jurisdiction of the tribunal and the failure of the Bureau to serve the summons directly on the CJN as required by law. The tribunal chairman, Danladi Umar, then adjourned till January the 22nd for the prosecution to properly serve the CJN. Justice Walter Onoge is facing a 6-count charge of alleged non-declaration of assets. Meanwhile, both the Federal High Court in Abuja and the National Industrial Court have given orders to halt the proceedings and restrained the police from arresting the CJN pending the hearing and determination of a suit filed by 2 non-governmental organizations. Still in Abuja, a High Court has ordered the Nigeria Police Force to show cause for its continued detention of Senator Dino Melaye, who has been in police custody since January the 4th, 2019. The presiding judge, Justice Yusuf Halilu, gave the order after the counsel representing Senator Melaye informed the court that he had been in custody beyond the number of days stipulated by law. Justice Halilu then adjourned hearing of the suit to January the 18th, 2019 to enable the police file its reply. From Abuja, we move to Lagos, where a Federal High Court has fixed February the 11th to deliver judgment in an application seeking the final forfeiture of $8.4 million and 7.4 billion naira, allegedly linked to the wife of the former president, Mrs. Patience Jonathan. The presiding judge, Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, fixed the date after listening to the argument of the prosecution counsel and the respondents in the matter. Counsel to the EFCC, Mr. Rotimi Oyedepo, in his submission for the final forfeiture order that Mrs. Jonathan fraudulently diverted the funds from a non-governmental organization linked to her, Women for Change Initiative. In another case, the same Federal High Court has ordered the final forfeiture of 2.2 billion naira, said to have been recovered from a former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adeshola Amosun. The money is to be forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria. A former Director of Finance and Budget of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Olugbenga Gbadebo, was equally ordered to permanently forfeit a sum of 190,828,978 naira recovered from him to the federal government. Also forfeited was a sum of 101 million naira recovered from Solomon Enterprises, a company linked to the former Air Chief. The trial judge, Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, ordered that the forfeited funds should be paid into the federal government's Treasury single account, and the EFCC is to show compliance with the order within 14 days. In her ruling, the judge agreed with the EFCC that the funds were proceeds of criminal activities. And we round off in the High Court sitting in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, where the trial of the 5 suspects who allegedly took part in the Offa bank robberies have been adjourned until Friday, January the 25th for definite hearing. The adjournment follows a plea by the new prosecution counsel, Professor Wahab Egbewole, who asked the court to grant him more time to properly study the case as he has just been briefed. The trial judge, Justice Haliman Salman, reluctantly adjourned the matter and warned the prosecutor to be serious about the case.
That's the program this week. Please feel free to send in your comments. Do also remember that you can watch this episode and past episodes of the program on our YouTube channel. I'm Millicent Walker. Many thanks for watching.